Hi and welcome to my YouTube channel. So, my name is Maddie, I'm 20 and I'm going to do my first video as a Q&A. So, on my Instagram I asked people to put questions in that they had about me being in a wheelchair or about my disability or about my illness. So I think in total I've got 45 questions, so obviously I can't answer all of them. So I've tried to pick ones that I get asked on quite a frequent basis. So the first one I got asked was, why are you in a wheelchair? So I have how many conditions? 4 conditions that have been diagnosed. So I've got anterior cutaneous nerve entrapment syndrome. I know, my mind was blown as well. That basically means I've got nerves trapped between my spine and my abdomen. So in my organs, in my stomach lining, they're everywhere. Then I've got abdominal myofascial pain syndrome. So that's kind of on the same path. That's basically inflammation in my stomach. Then I've got visual hypersensitivity. So that basically means that my stomach lining is swollen. So it means that my organs are really sensitive to pain and I feel constant pain in my stomach. And then I have IBS, just to add to everything else. So that all kind of happened first, and then I started fainting in 2018, and it was put down to blood pressure to start off with because I've got really low blood pressure. And then it kind of came out that they think it's reactive syncope, but that is not diagnosed, that is not confirmed or anything like that. I'm still under very intense investigations for things like that, so I'm still having testing done. And so reactive syncope basically means I'm fainting because I'm in pain. So when I stand up, I faint. And I'm always in pain. So that kind of was why it was put down to that. But obviously, like I said, that isn't diagnosed, but the other conditions are that I've mentioned. So that's why I'm in the wheelchair. So then the next question I was asked was, how do you find public transport? So this was a bit of a tricky one for me to answer because to start off with, I didn't really use public transport and I kind of really relied on my mum and dad to get me around. However, I'm now at university and I do use public transport quite a lot. Mainly trains, because obviously they're the easiest ones to get on and off. You just let them know at the train station what train you're on, where you're going to, and they sort it there and then for you. So I went to London a few weeks ago, so I literally arrived at the platform probably about 20 minutes before my train was due, asked the guy on the platform and just said, this is the train I'm on, are you okay to get me on it? And if there's any platform changes, are you okay to still get me on it? Because that's a bit of a worry. If you're at a bigger station and there's a platform change, it requires you to go in lifts, it requires you to go down ramps, and obviously I want to be able to get on the train that I've booked to get on. I have recently started to use buses. They're not as great as what trains are because obviously they're quite uncomfortable and the bouncing on the roads puts me in a lot of pain. So the car that we've got has quite a lot of suspension in it, purely just to help with when I'm travelling. It's not going to put me in as much pain. So the next one was, how have you had to adjust? So there's a few questions that were quite similar to this. So it's not just me as a person that's had to adjust. I've had to adjust to basically what the environment is around me. So where I live around me, the pavements aren't great. So it is quite difficult to get around and get out because the pavements impact a lot on the pain, because obviously if it's bouncing up and down and the pavements are a bit uneven, it's going to put me in a lot more pain. So I tend to kind of avoid doing things like that. And then there's obviously drop curbs. Drop curbs are the bane of my life. I will be going down a pavement, get to the end of it, and there's no drop curb. So that's a massive thing I've had to adjust to, because you have to be able, you have to know where you're going. You have to map that route out and know that you can get on that route. That's something that I found quite difficult to start off with. But I've only been in the wheelchair probably about a year and 6-7 months now. So I'm still adapting every single day. So I'm not actually that used to being in the wheelchair and knowing everything about it. So this is kind of just my experience so far, and it probably will carry on because I'm still learning, I'm still adjusting to things, I'm still adjusting to the environment around me. And one thing I will say is, for me, it's actually society that's more disabling than being in the chair, because there's so many things that I've had to change. And one of the hardest things for me was, I used to be such a kind of spontaneous, independent person where I would literally just want to go out and I'd go. Just ignore my dog in the background. So I'd just go and do what I wanted to do. And now I can't do that. So that was a really big thing I've had to adjust to, because I can't just get up and go out. I have to know what I'm doing. I have to plan my route out. I have to make sure that where I'm going is accessible. So a lot of places that I used to go to, restaurants, cafes, clubs, bars, whatever, you name it, they're not accessible at all. So I've had to kind of change where I used to go, and that was a bit of a bigger thing for me at the start, because I was having to change where I wanted to go, or I wasn't able to go out and do what I wanted to do because I couldn't get into where I wanted to go, and it restricted me from going out with my friends quite a lot. But I've tended to be able to go to places now thanks to my uni mates, because they're all amazing, and we actually go to places that I can get into. So another one I had was, how has it changed you as a person? So this is a big one for me, because I would still say I'm the same person, and I am. The chair doesn't change who I am. However, it has in a way changed me, but for the better, I would say, because before I was in the wheelchair, I kind of took things for granted, and you do, and I will quite happily admit that I took for granted the fact that I could just stand up and go for a walk. And I feel like I've come to understand things on a completely different level, where I'm a lot more appreciative when I can go out and do stuff, and I enjoy it a lot more than what I used to do, because when you take things for advantage and you just go out and you do what you want to do, it's kind of, oh, I've been out. With me, I'm like, oh my God, I've been able to do this, and it's like a massive achievement that I've been able to go and do it. And when I went to London, that was amazing. Like, I had such an amazing day. But it was such an achievement that I managed to do it, and it was the first big thing that I did on my own. So that was quite a big thing for me, the fact that after a year and 6 months, I felt able to go and do something like that. And then, what is it like being in a wheelchair? So this is a really difficult question. Thanks, Chris. Yeah, it is difficult, but this is such a hard question. What is it like being in a wheelchair? It's hard. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it is really, really difficult, because you can't just do what everyone else wants to do, and you constantly have to see what other people are doing and how other people are getting on with their lives, and you can't do that. But in a way, you can't let that dwell on you. Like, you have to do what you can do, and not let it restrict you in a way that's negative on you. You still have to go out, you still have to do things, you can't hold yourself back in a way. So that kind of leads me on to the next question of, what hobbies do you have? So before all this happened, when I was younger, I did acting, and I absolutely loved it. So I did triple threat. So I did acting, singing and dancing. And then I actually left my acting to go and join Air Cadets. And then it was a massive dream of mine to be able to go in the RAF. So when I was 16, I went to Welbeck Sixth Form. So that's a military sixth form. So that was obviously what I wanted to do, and that was where I fell unwell. And obviously, it's still what I want to do, but you have to change, you have to adapt. So my hobby is acting. I absolutely love it. That is something that I've had a passion for since I was about 3, if not before that. And I've just absolutely loved it all my life. And Do I regret leaving acting? Kind of, yes, because it gave me a bit of, like, it gave me that confidence. But then I say, Architects gave me that confidence as well on a completely different scale. So I have actually gone back into doing my acting, and I've filmed quite a lot of things recently. Some of them haven't come out yet, so I can't say anything more. But yeah, acting is my main hobby. The gym, I absolutely love going to the gym, and you might think, the gym in a wheelchair? But yeah, like, I absolutely love going to the gym. There's so many things that you can do. There's so many ways that you can adapt machines, and I'm lucky that I can transfer across and like go onto machines. Some of them obviously I can't because it's really, really difficult. But yeah, acting and the gym, and then obviously I'm at university, so I'm studying construction project management, which I absolutely love. It's amazing, but yeah, I just love it. There's nothing that I could say negative about the course I'm doing. And again, construction in a wheelchair, you might think, how's that going to work? But I actually got a placement. I got offered three placements to go to construction firms, and my biggest question was, how accessible is the construction industry? And there were so many ways that they can adapt it that you wouldn't have even realised. And obviously my course leader has explained everything to me, and he's been amazing. The next one, what do you miss the most? Okay, so obviously walking, like massively. Before I was in the wheelchair, me and my dad completed the Three Peaks Challenge with quite a lot of other people. That was a huge achievement. I would probably say that's one of the biggest achievements of my life. So I miss that massively. What else do I miss? I just generally miss what I had, what I was doing. Like, it is hard, I'm not gonna lie. It is really, really difficult, and obviously I've still got quite a lot of people that I've been with in the past that are still continuing on their journeys, and I wouldn't want them to do anything other than that. And one of my best friends is excelling herself off into the RAF, and I'm so, so proud of her, and just seeing what she's doing is amazing. But yeah, I miss like all my training. Obviously I'm still doing some, but nowhere near what I was doing. So yeah, just my old life completely, really, because I feel like I'm living a different life now, and I kind of am, because everything has changed apart from like the obvious. I'm still the same person I was. What was the biggest change at home? I suppose getting a stair lift, to be honest, and not just being able to get up and walk into the kitchen and go and get some food. Like, that's a bit of a challenge. But no, like, joking aside, probably the stair lift, because it meant that I could have that independence where I can go up and down stairs without having to have someone in the house with me. But yeah, like, probably the stair lift, I would say. And then the last one I'm going to answer, because I don't want to bore you anymore, is what is it like getting jobs? So when I went into the wheelchair, it took me quite a while to adapt and actually feel better, because when I first went into it, I was really, really unwell. I still am now, but I find ways of coping. I'm on different medications. And it took me probably a good, I would say, 7 months to even have the confidence to try and apply for something. And then I applied for a job in retail, so I worked at Pavers, which is a shoe shop, which I absolutely loved. And to be honest, I have to hand some of it to my manager. She was absolutely incredible. Anything that she could do, she'd do for me. But I found it so kind of not easy to adapt, but it was such an achievement. Every time I went into work, I felt like I achieved something different. So I was doing different things, or if I'd help someone, it was like, oh my God, I've managed to do something. And there was a lot of people that were very kind of they said they were inspired by the fact I was working, and that touched me because it was like, why shouldn't we be working? Just because we're in wheelchairs, it shouldn't affect the way that we work. And unfortunately, still very sad about it, I had to leave Pavers when I started university. I stayed there for about a month when I started uni, and it was just too much. So I did 7 months at Pavers, and I wouldn't change it for the world. I absolutely loved it, and all of the team there, they were all incredible. Went to the Christmas do, that was awesome because I'd missed them all so much. But yeah, I think that's all I'm going to answer today. If there's any more questions that people want to ask, just pop them in the comments, and I might do another video, but obviously it depends on if I get any more requests of questions or what else you'd like me to do. So if you'd like me to do any more YouTube videos about different things or doing different things, I'm more than happy to do it. I'm thinking of doing a YouTube video of a day in the life of someone in a wheelchair, so bits and pieces of what I do during my day. I'd probably do it when I'm at university because it just gives a bit of a breakdown of what I'm doing. But obviously in current situations, I can't be at university, so that could be a while. But yeah, thank you so much for watching the YouTube video. I hope you all enjoyed it, and please tune back in for my next video. If you want to subscribe, you will get notifications of when I post, and I'd really appreciate that. So if you like the video, just give it a cheeky like. Thank you.